Well, hi there, everyone. Thank you for coming back for another episode, which I'm going to start this episode off by a little rant and rave. Not too much, but first off, what I want to talk about is some people are doing a little bit of feedback on Swagglehoss's No Book is Rare video. And I just wanted to put my two cents in. I watched his video and his going to some of the people and talking about whether a book is rare. He brought out a rare index, which I like. I did enjoy the rare index, but I think in general, you can't really say, well, this book is rare if you don't know how many copies may or may not exist. Like the precursor to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Gobbledygook. Gobbledygook 1 and Gobbledygook 2 both had 50 copies made. They were handmade by Eastman and Laird, and there were only 50, 50. And with 50, yeah, you can say, yeah, that's a pretty rare book. But there are a lot of books out there, like one book that a lot of people salivate over, Detective 27. I've been collecting since 1979, and I started going to San Diego Comic-Con in 1981 regularly. And I don't know how many copies of Detective 27 I've seen. Now, of course, if it's under 50, I don't know. I definitely have not seen 50 copies. But when it's at San Diego Comic-Con, I really actually didn't think it was that rare. Just very important. So a lot of books out there may or may not be technically rare. There are some books out there that there's known to be one copy due to an error or an advance print or something. That is truly rare. But Detective 27 probably is not a rare book. It's very important, it's very key, and because of that, it is worth the price when you can find it in high grade. So, Swag, buddy, you're right. There isn't any comic that is truly rare except the handful here and there. There are some comics we don't know how many there are. How do you determine if a book is truly rare? By how many are in existence. But these days, we don't necessarily know. There could be a warehouse out there with Detective 27s, 5,000 of them, and guess what? Now, of course, that book really isn't rare, but the books, if they are out there, haven't been discovered yet. So we can't say there's 7,000, 20,000, 40,000. We don't know. So the only thing we can go on is the CGC and the CBCS censuses. Between the two censuses, you can figure out how many books there might be and determine if they're rare. Because I've also seen some books, not new books, older books, that have like 5 or 6 on the census, but there are hundreds of known copies. Nobody's just grading them because nobody cares, and that's okay. But we don't really need to fret on whether a comic is really rare or not. Look at the census, get an idea of how many there are graded, and then you can make a determination of how many might exist, but what matters is when the books come up for sale. If it's a book you want and the price is what you can afford, buy it. If you think, oh, that book, oh, it's way too high priced, don't buy it. It's okay. Just love what you do. Continue to collect. And swag, my friend, you're right on the money. So keep it up, and I'll be with you. All right, so next, what I want to talk about, seen Swagelhaus and others talk about this as well, and I again want to put in my 2 cents. So what I want to talk about is the CGC 9.9 pre-screen. Now, I don't know if it's necessarily a pre-screen. You know, it might be, but yes, send in your book. Say I only want them if they're 9, 9, or 10, and get most of them back, if not all. So one of the things, though, that concerns me is that we know that CGC has been in business since 2000. So there's 24 years CGC has been in business. And I went out to CGC's census report because somebody else I saw talk about this, and so I think it's important. Wolverine #1 from 1982. Not long ago, there was one 10.0 on the census. One. 24 years there was one, but guess what? Now there are 4. So there has been an increase of 3 10.0s. So wait a minute. In 1 year there's 3, but in 24 years there was 1. So the concern I have is just, I believe that with CGC being around so long, and a lot of books are being sent in that they've been sent in, they're starting to, the numbers of books to be graded are dwindling. So I really think that CGC is expanding its grading to bring more people in. I think 2 years ago, all 3 of those 10.0s would have been a 9.8. And there would still be 1 because they did find 1 that was perfect. But now CGC needs to keep its sales up, keep its people interested. So I think now they're saying all these books that we've had come in that are starting to get a lot of them in, we need to start giving our collectors a little bit more. So we're going to have to start putting out 9.9s and 10s of the books coming in, which that tells me that a lot of those 9.8s over the last 24 years should have been 9.9s or 10s. So a lot of the people that sent their books in years ago have been cheated. They have a 9.9 or a 10 sitting in their hands, but it's a 9.8. So what are they going to do? You can't take a book and crack it every time and send it back in. Now, I've heard some people talk, I can't remember the term they used, but about if you send a lot of books in at one time, CGC will do a comparative grade, like if you send in 25 of a book, that it would do a comparative grade and say, well, look, some of those got to be 10s, some of them got to be 9s. That if you sent in that Wolverine one at a time, probably going to get a 9.8, 9.8, 9.8, 9.8. If you send in 25 of those Wolverine ones, probably going to get a couple 9.9s, maybe a 10. If comparative grading is a thing. But the one thing for me, got to put on the specs, about it, CGC Wolverine 1 from 1982, they have graded 9.8, 5,260 total between Universal and Signature. They do have some restored. There were 7 restored, but a total of 5,260. In 9.9, there were a total of 41. 41 9.9s. Interestingly enough, 2 of them being Signature series. Wow, good luck for those guys. But out of all those 5,300 submissions, 4 are 10s, which, maybe just coincidence. I'm not saying anything against CGC, really. I'm just saying there's a possibility that some of those 9.8s are better than 9.8 and could be 9.9s or 10s. But time will tell. Please, please, please don't be haters. Oh, you're ragging on CGC. No, I'm not. I use them. I use both CGC and CBCS. So, no, I'm not ragging on anybody. If I thought they were cheating, pure cheating, I wouldn't send my books to them. But I do. So, that is the end of my 2 rants. So, thank you, everybody, for that. And now I'm going to be moving on to the CovrPrice Top 10 list for May 27th, 2024, and how those books are on the CBCS population report. Now, I said I do CGC and CBCS. The reason I do the CBCS population report is because there are a lot of people that do the CGC census. So I want you to get an idea. Go watch those videos. The YouTubers there, they're great. They do a good job. I watch them. I enjoy them. But I want you to know how these books are on the CBCS population report. So this week, May 27th, 2024, number 10 spot is Mad Max Fury Road Furiosa number 1. So on the CBCS population report, there are 3 9.8 blue labels and 1 9.6 yellow label. So now that the new Mad Max movie is out, maybe this will increase. So we will just have to wait and see. So in the number 9 spot, the Sensational She-Hulk number 2, volume 2, number 2. There are 12 blue label direct editions, and there is 1 blue label newsstand edition. Those are the only 2 on that. The category that I call other, there's nothing else. Those are the only 13 on the CBCS population report. The number 8 spot is Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider number 1, the Jenny Friesen Virgin 1 in 100. There are currently none in the CBCS population report. I mean, come on, it's a week old. So number 7 is Doom number 1, which of course it's a one-shot, so Doom number 1, the Adi Granov variant. And being out just a week, there are none on the CBCS population report. Number 6 is Essentia 22, the J. Scott Campbell Torpedo Comics hidden mail-in exclusive. Again, just came out last week, but man, if I could afford it, I'd be sure getting one. I do collect Essentia, and I do collect J. Scott Campbell books, so wish I could afford one, but not right now. So we are now halfway through. We've done 10 through 6, getting ready to go to 5. So I just want to take a quick break and say thank you for joining me. Thank you for hanging on. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you like what I do so you can be notified when I put out another video. And please remember, visit your local comic shop. Keep those stores in business. We don't want, I went to Reno, Nevada, and there used to be a couple stores in Reno. Now there is one comic store in Reno, but it's kind of a misnomer. It's 90% gaming and 10% comics. So I really can't call that a comic book shop per se. So Reno, one, and it's mighty tiny. So if you don't support your LCS, they will disappear. Don't let that happen. Please go support your local comic book shop, and thank you for being here. So now, number 5 on the CovrPrice top 10 list for May 27th, 2024 is Uncanny X-Men 266. So I've got a spreadsheet, and I'm going to put the glasses back on because this is a little it's hard to read. So this is Uncanny X-Men 266 as of May 27th. There are a total of 743 Blue Label direct editions, 411 Yellow Label direct editions, with 2 being restored, a 9.4 and a 6.5. Then in newsstand, there's a total of 221 Blue Label newsstand, 93 Yellow Label newsstand, and there are also 2 restored, a 9.6 and a 9.4. Then in that other category, there are 653 Blue Label and 63 Yellow Label, and in that Yellow Label there is 1 restored 7.5. Now I have to correct myself, I think it's just 1 restored in the Blue Label. But the last time Uncanny X-Men 266 was on the CovrPrice Hot 10 list was April 17th. Since April 17th, there has been some additions to the CBCS population report. There has been an additional 1 9.8 Blue Label direct edition. There are an additional 3 9.6s in Blue Label direct. There is an increase of 1 9.6 Yellow Label direct. There is an increase of 1 9.4 Blue Label direct, one 9.4 yellow label direct. There's an increase of one 9.2 blue label newsstand, an increase of one 9.0 blue label newsstand, an increase of one 8.5 blue label direct edition, an additional one 8.0 yellow label edition, and finally an additional one 7.0 blue label newsstand. So if you want a further breakdown, let me know and I'll get that to you. So next in the number 4 spot is Blood Hunt number 2, the Red Band edition, the Logan Lobera Crime Suspense Stories 16, 1 in 25. None on the CBCS population report. Actually, the rest of these, none. But I'll tell you anyway. In the number 3 spot is New Mutants 98, the Inyuk Lee 2024 facsimile variant, and it's a 1 in 25. There are none on the CBCS population report. Next in the number 2 spot, 222, is Doom number 1, the Sanford Green regular cover. So as I said, Doom 1, it's a one shot. People are going for it. The CovrPrice top 10 and top 10 runners up, there are a couple other iterations of Doom on the 10 runners up. So in the number 1 spot, number 1, oh, that's 2, sorry about that, is X-Men 97 number 2, the animation art second print. Wow, the number 1 hottest book that CovrPrice sees in sales is a second print. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, second print, X-Men 97 number 2, animation art second print is the number 1 book on this CovrPrice top 10 list. So that is my 2 cents on those other 2 subjects, a little bit of rant and rave, and the top 10 CovrPrice list for May 27th, 2024. I'd like to say thank you so much for watching, and we will see you all next time. Bye-bye.